Yo, the first 2 days of the NBA free agency have gone completely crazy, bro. We've been hit, thrown, kicked, and all of those stuff by all of these dramas, issues, trades, and signings, bro. And we are here to talk about it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And now let's get right into it. Before we talk about the days that happened in free agency, let's talk about the day that happened before free agency. So, and the big news that time was the DeJounte trade. If you didn't know what happened or you completely forgot about the trade, the Atlanta Hawks gave out 3 first-round picks, two of them unprotected picks, and Danilo Gallinari for DeJounte Murray. And keep this in mind. Keep that word in mind throughout this video. Unprotected picks. Right? Keep those words in mind. Unprotected picks. For me, this trade was like a good thing for Atlanta, but also a risky one. The Spurs, they got two unprotected picks of Atlanta, a Charlotte pick for next year, and they got an expiring contract. And they are in full retool, rebuilding mode. If you look at the timeline, DeJounte Murray doesn't fit them there. He's 25 years old and he's supposed to be with a winning team. And now the Spurs are not yet in that spot to be like a championship team or contending team. Because if you know the Spurs, they never back down. Like they never ever back down. Like you may see them always in the playoffs, but it would be like in the play-in or maybe a 7 or 8 seed. They won't really reach to like the fifth, the fourth, or like even go to like the third and be like one of the best teams that could reach the finals or the favorites that could reach the finals. They could never reach there. So now it is a good thing for the Spurs because like they're gathering picks. They're gathering picks and trying to get that guy next year. One of the they say of the best player since LeBron in the draft, and that's Victor Wembanyama. Looking at the highlights, he's so good. Like he's one of my favorites next year, aside from Scoot Henderson. But he is also good, bro. Like he is so good, really, really dominant. So like, I don't know if the Spurs can get him, but I know the Spurs are trying their best to get him. Like they're trying to be so bad that they can get him. And if they could get him, that's a good move. But if they don't, for the Atlanta standpoint, you've got 2 years of DeJounte Murray. And you really wanted that. Trae Young is like a top 5, one of the best offensive players in the league. Defensively, he is one of the worst. So you get someone in the perimeter who can guard, and that's DeJounte Murray. So this is something we need to look at this year, especially in the early days of this season, because we've got two dominant players. And since Trae Young doesn't have the ball and he that much, and he keeps saying like since he was still in high school that he is a shooting guard. Will we get to see an off-ball Trae Young more? And I want to see, or I'm curious to see how an off-ball Trae Young looks like. And DeJounte, yo, he will be so good there, bro. He will be good there. And looking at this one, it is a bit risky because in DeJounte's contract, it will end in 2 years. So it will be in 2024. Atlanta gave out two unprotected first round picks, and they believe that this duo will be like their backcourt in the next coming years. Those picks are 2025 and 2027. So I don't know how it will look like, but I tell you, it's gonna be crazy. Trae Young, you still have Trae Young, so you will be like maybe an 8th, 10th seed if DeJounte doesn't sign in, let's say, 2 years. But if he resigns and he is happy with his current situation, especially in Atlanta, ooh, I think Atlanta won. It's still hard to grade this trade. I know the Atlanta Hawks are not yet done because they still have trades for JC. But if you're looking at it, it's like Atlanta really won. I'm excited to see this season, bro. Atlanta's gonna be fun this season. Now let's go to the Kyrie situation. If I'm correct, Kyrie wanted more years and more money, but Brooklyn wants less years. So that made the conflict between both sides be very conflictable. Is that a word you get? And we got to see all these Kyrie to Lakers, Kyrie to New York type of things. First they came. Free agency first they came. Kyrie opted in. KD asked for a trade to the Brooklyn owner. I gotta tell you, this has got to be the craziest but also the funniest thing KD has done, bro. KD was like, I don't care about all those legacy types of things. I just want to win. I just want to win. And I want to be with the Suns. And it's funny because we've seen KD do that. One of the best players in the league joins one of the best teams in the league. And yes, the Suns, even though they lost to Luka, they're still one of the best teams in the league. They're still number one in the playoff rank, in the playoffs, in the standings, bro. But yo, it's funny because KD always wants to join the best team who has one of the best chances to win a finals. And now he wants to join the Suns. KD is just funny, bro. All these trades about to happen, and it's still day one. It's still day. I know it's not day one. It's day two, and it's still day two. We've got all these trades, rumors. We've got everything for this KD thing, and you also got Kyrie, who says, and I think I saw it in a report that they want to play together, but not in Brooklyn. The funniest part about this KD is that after Ben Simmons showed this pic, he was like, nah, I wanna get out. I wanna get out of this thing. I like KD because he's like one of the best players in the league and one of the best players of all time. I'm just in for this one, bro. I don't know where they go. I don't know how teams were going to get KD, but I'm just in for it. I'm just in and excited for all these things that are going to be happening, bro. And now let's go to day number 2. It's around 6 o'clock in the morning, so I know day 2 isn't really done yet. But we've got the Rudy Gobert trade. Of all of the teams who wanted to trade for Rudy Gobert, Minnesota won the auction. They gave out Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly, this year's draft pick, Walker Kessler, and Jared Vanderbilt, and five first round picks. Five first round picks. 2022 this year in Walker Kessler, 2023, 2025, 2027, and a top 5 protected 2029 pick. Remember the word unprotected, right? Keep that word in mind. I know I've said it earlier, but that word is very important, especially talking about trades. And yes, I'm happy Rudy Gobert goes to a different team and it's with Cat, and I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are putting Cat in the 4, which if you look at it is alright. Cat in the 4 looks good but also interesting to see because he can shoot. We all know he can shoot, and they say he's one of the best or the best 3-point center in the history of NBA. But it also opens up the future of this team, of this duo, because what if Gobert doesn't resign? I know there's still like 5 years left of Gobert, and what if it won't work and he in the next 2 years just asks for a trade again? You all know Anthony Edwards, Kermit Wilkes, and Karl-Anthony Towns are the future of Minnesota, and you add Rudy Gobert to that mix, it looks good, interesting, but also curious to see what the players will be like that will help support them. Because if you know, you also need role players or players that can play their role. It is still hard to decide on who won this trade, but 5 first round picks, 3 unprotected first round picks, and that is all in 2025 to 2027. We're still in 2022. Okay, we're still in 2022. And if Minnesota decides to break that core up, I don't know. You lost Patrick Beverly, who is your best defensive guard. So you need to find another good defensive guard. You lost Malik Beasley also, who is like a good contributor in your bench or in your scoring department. You also lost Jared Vanderbilt, who is one of the best players that you match up Cat with because he is very good defensively. And now you bring Rudy Gobert, who is like terrible in the perimeter, but this past season he has like slowly improved a bit. And I mean by slowly is that it's a bit, like just a bit, but he improved slowly. And you got Karl Anthony Towns, who is a bad defender. And I know you got Rudy Gobert to help that department, in the defending department alongside Cat. But if you look at it, the small ball will destroy that team. We've seen Twin Towers and we'll probably see more of those things in the coming future with all of these big men coming up and all of these like Victor Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren type players. We will get to see more of that. But this team will be destroyed in a small ball. And I know Warriors fans are not worried about the team. If you put a small ball lineup against this team, that two players, Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns, are not really good perimeter defenders. And you need people to guard in the perimeter in this team. That's why it's interesting and it's exciting to see what this team will look like. You lost Patrick Beverly, you lost Jared Vanderbilt, you still got Jaden McDaniels, so he's alright, it's good. But you need to find these defenders. And you need people who can complement Cat, who can complement Anthony Edwards, who can complement Rudy Gobert. And I don't know who is the best point guard aside from D'Lo. You need someone who can play make. Number one was like, yo, you gotta get Ricky Rubio. But Rubio re-signed or signed back with Cleveland. So he's out. So you need to find someone else who can complement with these three players. And it's still day 2 of free agency. So there is still time for Minnesota. And all teams that go small ball will probably have an easier time up against this team. So I'm interested to see what this team will look like and what this or what players would help them. But yeah, that's my take on this Rudy Gobert in the Minnesota side. Let's go to the Utah side. This is a good thing. This trade shows that the Utah Jazz front office decided to build around Donovan Mitchell, which is a good thing. You've got this star player, this one of the best scorers in the league type of player, of the best slashers, who was like projected to go to Miami with all of these trades, and we're not going to see that. We're not going to see that anymore because Mitchell is their guy in Utah. And I'm excited to see how a Patrick Beverly Donovan Mitchell duo will look like. I know it will be fun and I want to see this Utah Jazz team in the playoffs. Like the 8 seed. I'm good with them with the 8 seed because I just want to see Patrick Beverly in the playoffs. I know we get to see him every year, but I just want to see him like what he did with Minnesota last year. And now if you look at it, it's like the Spurs type of thing. I'm not yet sure with the contracts of Patrick Beverly and Jared Vanderbilt. So I'm not really sure about how long they're going to stay. But I'm excited to see what this team will look like in the future. And if that core in Minnesota won't work, I think Utah Jazz won this trade. Yes, they have a lot of picks. 5 first round picks. And people are making trades that only got 2 first round picks to get KD. And that's not going to happen. Because if you're going to get KD, you're going to get more than 5 first round picks. And a lot are going to be unprotected picks. I want to see how this Utah Jazz team will look like. I know if you build around Mitchell, you also need shooters and you also need defenders in the paint and very good defenders. And you've got Vanderbilt and you've got Beverly in there. So I'm excited how this Utah Jazz defensive team will look like. If you got Vanderbilt, you've got Patrick Beverly, you also got a good shooter in Malik Beasley. You're slowly building a good defensive team around Mitchell. And that's one of his weaknesses. Now let's talk about a quick trade because Boston becomes better, becomes stronger as they acquire Malcolm Brogdon for nothing. Boston trades Daniel Theis, Neesmith, and a first round pick for Malcolm Brogdon. And now they have someone who can create shots, good shots, create shots, and make shots for other players. And that was the thing that they were lacking, is another playmaker. And Malcolm Brogdon could do that. And now Boston looks stronger. And they might be one of the favorites to go out of the East as of right now. I'm interested to see the Robert Williams situation, if he's still going to be healthy. Because I know he played through pain during the finals, during the playoffs. He played through pain. And based on history with like Isaiah Thomas, he said he heard about that and he experienced that, and you see where he is right now. So I'm like curious to see what the Robert Williams situation will happen, but I know we're going to get a better Jason Tatum, a better Jalen Brown, a better Derek White, a better Marcus Smart, a better defensive team. If everything comes according to plan, this team is going to be in the finals maybe again next year. Now let's talk about key signings I've seen as of now, because most of them are all resigns, and I don't want to talk about resign because it's like one of the big signings that we know is that PJ Tucker and Daniel House goes to Sixers, and they're building back this Rockets team, and I like that for Sixers because they get a good defensive perimeter player that can shoot threes, and you need someone to help Matisse Thybulle. So you've got PJ Tucker, who's like one of the best, and he can teach Tease to do what is best. Because if you watch Sixers last year, you really hate Matisse Thybulle on the floor offensively. He's so bad offensively that he can't even make a layup. The Jalen Brunson signing, we all know about that one because like New York gave out almost everything for cap space to get Jalen Brunson. Memphis losing Kyle Anderson to Minnesota is like, alright, and I talked about Minnesota, and now they've got another team. So now this means Brandon Clark possibly getting more minutes in Memphis. One of the best signings I've seen throughout this free agency is the Bruce Brown to Denver. The Bruce Brown to Denver is so good because if you look at that team and if they are a healthy team this season, bro, this team is going to be scary. And I tell you, scary. And they will possibly, if they are healthy, they are my favorite team to come out of the West. Because they are like a win team now. Win now team. Bruce Brown, Jamal Murray, MPJ, Jokic, shout out to Jokic, who got one of the best bags or one of the biggest bags in NBA history. Because like he resigned a contract with 256 million. So that's a big bag. You also got like Bones Highland, you got Zeke Naji. So you need to find players off your bench, and now they got Bruce Brown. They also traded for KCP. I'm not really sure yet where is if KCP is still in Denver, but they lost Will Barton and Monte Morris, which has been two very very key players throughout this Denver run this year and also previous years. But like they got like Bruce Brown back. They also got like KCP. So this team offensively, defensively looks very, very good. And now they need someone who can be defending in the paint. They didn't get like DeAndre Jordan. Why now? They didn't get like Andre Drummond or someone, but they need to find someone else who can guard the paint. And this team will be the favorites to go out of the West. And I have them as one of my favorites to go out of the West right now. Denver is healthy. They are my favorite team to go out of the West, and they can go out of the West. We've seen that one before if they're healthy. Not really because they didn't reach the finals, but we can possibly see that one once again. But now even better. So I'm excited to see that, especially if they're healthy. John Wall goes to the Clippers. That is fine. That is good. He gets buyout of his Rockets contract. It'll be fun to see what he can do with Kawhi and Paul George. Yeah, I'm also excited to see that one because I'm just happy John Wall is going to play back, and the Lakers trades are like wow, 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 wow. So like you got Westbrook though. I'm happy with y'all. So yeah, those are all the things that happened so far today. It's still around 6 o'clock, so like a lot of more things are going to happen. So yeah, we will see, bro. We will see. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you all soon. Peace.